today we are covering the next chapter, that is chapter 8 of economic survey, which is dealing with industry and infrastructure. So today we will be covering industry and tomorrow we will cover infrastructure. Regarding industry, see in this video, three important topics from 2016-17 and 17-18 is covered by economic survey. That is in relation to index of industrial production, a core sector, as well as ease of doing business. So there is a high possibility, very high possibility that from either any of these, from these three topics, you expect a question for this year prelims. So make sure that what the economic survey has stressed, you give importance to that point. Okay. Anyway, industry. In relation to industry, we will see that, okay, what is the trend in relation to the industrial sector growth and how the industrial sectors, each sector's performance, everything we'll be discussing in this session. Now regarding the 16-17 survey starts like this, okay, regarding the trends in industrial sector. What is the trend in industrial sector, mainly in relation to the growth of industrial sector? So before going to the growth part, this is a very important fact. This is a very important fact that the industry, if you include construction, the industrial sector, if you include construction, so it constitute 31.1% of the gross value added in 2016-17. It's a very important fact. Okay. So in the next table, you will have a much more detailed idea about the gross value added. But for time being, understand the industrial sector, including construction, constitute 31.1% of the gross value added. In the last economic survey video in agriculture, we know that this agriculture contribution to gross value added is something near to 17%. So the rest is service sector. Okay, almost 50% or more than that. It's on service sector. Gross value added is from service sector. So this fact you keep it. By including construction only, it has reached 31.1%. Construction itself have contributed 8% to the gross value added. Now, the survey says the importance of industrial sector. So what it says that if you have a strong and robust industrial and manufacturing sector, say a strong and robust industrial and manufacturing sector helps the economy in many ways. That is in relation to increasing the domestic production, increasing the exports as well as employment generation. So since it is directly linked to exports, domestic production and employment generation, if you have a robust industrial as well as manufacturing sector, it will result in higher growth in the economy. So whenever there have been higher industrial growth, that year we normally, in the normal sense, we had a good economic growth also. Now, what is the growth? So we know that the gross value added from the industrial sector, including construction, is nearly 31%. And regarding the growth of industrial sector, see, we are not talking in relation to GDP. We are talking in relation to gross value added. See, in the economic survey, in almost all the economic survey, the importance have been given to gross value added instead of GDP. So make sure you know the concept of gross value added, how the gross value added is being calculated in the changed scenario, that is with the revised base year. Okay. So as well as how if you know gross value added, how you can calculate GDP at market price. So all these things we are discussed in our national income session. Okay. So make sure that you revise it. Okay. The relationship between gross value added and GDP at market price and how gross value added is calculated. Now, the gross value added for industrial sector, the growth of the gross value in industrial sector in 2016 is the growth in 2016-17 in relation to gross value added is 6.6%. But when you compare to the previous, gross value added. So 6.6% is not in relation to industry. The total gross value added, the growth in 2016-17 in GVA is 6.6%, and the industrial performance or the industrial growth in 16-17 is 5.6%. So when the industrial growth have come down, even our gross value added, total gross value added also have come down to 6.6%. But in 15-16 we had a better industrial performance, better industrial growth in relation to gross value added. It was 8.8%. So gross value added have declined in 16-17, and that have resulted in lower growth in gross value added, that is 6.6%. Not that important, but just have an idea. In 16-17 the industrial growth compared to 15-16 have been lesser. Now if you look into in this table, which is we are taken from 17-18 economic survey. So if you see this data, okay, I told you the gross value added of industrial sector is 31.2%, including construction. So construction is adding 8%. So if you reduce construction, it is the industrial sector's contribution is 23.12, but if you include construction, it is coming around 31.2%. But here the most important fact is manufacturing. How much manufacturing is contributing to gross value added, which is very, very important. So the manufacturing contribution to gross value added is 18.1%, and mining and quarrying 3%, and electricity, etc. 2.2%. Most important fact is manufacturing. The contribution of manufacturing to gross value added, that is coming around 18.1. If you include the entire industrial sector, including construction, it is coming around 31.2. Now, if you compare the industrial growth, we had seen it, okay, in 16-17, it is 5.6%. In 15-16, it is 8.8. So there have been decline in the industrial growth in gross value added in 2016-17. And if you look into the 2017-18 first two quarters, the quarter one is comparatively lesser, quarter two is a bit higher. It's okay, but not to that level which we had in 15-16. So 17-18 data is not that much important for you. 16-17 data is more important, okay, and I make a comparison with 15-16. But important point to note down is manufacturing 18.1, including construction 31.2 to the gross value added. That is the percentage or the weightage of industrial sector in to the gross value added. Now, so we already know that in 16-17, the industrial growth is in relation to gross value added is very less. It is coming around 5.8%. Okay, so this lower growth rate in industrial sector is mainly due to the slowdown of manufacturing sector. So you know that manufacturing sector constitute 18.1%, and it's a major component of industrial growth. So since the manufacturing sector have been slowed down, there have been lower growth rate in the industrial sector in 16-17. Now, what survey says that, this is actually mentioned in the 16-17 survey. What 16-17 volume 2 says that is that the slowdown of manufacturing sector is mainly due to twin balance sheet problem. Okay. Now, this is a very important topic, the concept of twin balance sheet problem. So we were expecting a question from twin balance sheet problem in 17, but UPSC didn't ask it. So there is a high possibility that UPSC can ask the concept, what is called as twin balance sheet problem. So the economic survey have defined, the definition have been given in the economic survey. What is twin balance sheet problem? Okay, it's nothing but, see, as the term suggests, it is talking about twin. The twin here is the public sector banks as well as the corporate. So there is, both their balance sheet is in a big problem. The public sector bank balance sheet is in a problem because of higher non-performing assets, and this, now the corporate, because of their high debts, they are having a big problem in their balance sheet also. Okay, so the asset part of the banks, mainly public sector bank, it is poor performing, that is they are having huge non-performing assets, and the liability part of the balance sheet of the corporate, because of this huge debt, that is also a big concern. So that's the reason this concern is a twin balance sheet problem. there is a balance sheet, both the public sector banks as well as corporates balance sheet is in a problem, and we call it as twin balance sheet problem, and that have resulted in low slowdown in the manufacturing sector. This is what economic survey 1670 survey says that. And because of this twin balance sheet problem, what happened is there have been a slower credit offtake by the industry from the banks. So the credit offtake by the industry, so if there is lower credit, it means that there will be slowdown in gross capital, fixed capital formation. So whenever there is credit offtake is lesser from the industry, the gross fixed capital formation, another name for gross fixed capital formation is investment. There will be slowdown in investment. So if there is lesser credit offtake, there will be lesser investment. If there is lesser investment, there will be low industrial growth also. So this is what happened in the case of industry. Now it's saying regarding the credit to industry, bank credit to industry in 2016 has contracted. So it means that the growth, the credit to industry has contracted. That is, it's contracted by 1.6%. That is, the growth is minus 1.6%. Bank credit to industry. While, so because of that, the gross fixed capital information, fixed capital formation, or the investment is 2.1% only. 2.1% only in 1670. The gross fixed capital formation was 6.5% in 2015-16. So please we take care of this important concept, what is called as twin balance sheet problem. Next, very important topic. Okay, now why this topic of index of industrial production is important? Okay, already we have solved a question on index of industrial production. So those who have not watched that video, please watch it because it's a very important topic. I'll try to link that video below this video. The reason is very simple. In May 2017, the base year of index of industrial production have been revised. Okay, so like wholesale, same time wholesale price index also, I told you wholesale price index is very important, and index of industrial production is also very important because in May 2017, the base year have been revised from 2004-5 to 2011-12. It's very important. Okay, now regarding the index of industrial production. Okay, so this is a very important measure. Measure means an important measure of industrial performance. Okay, our industrial performance is mainly measured through index of industrial production. Okay, and it is released by Central Statistics Office. Okay, so this is also another very important. They can ask you, okay, who releases the index of industrial production? Okay, so this index is released by Central Statistics Office, and CSO have changed the base year, revised the base year of IIP in May 2017 from 2004-5 to 2011-12. Now the latest series, that is with base year 2011-12, is it's saying that survey says that it is more representative of the current structure of industrial structure. Okay, so this is the basic aim of revising the base year to represent the current structure of that particular sector. So here it is industrial sector. Okay, now see, when our industrial growth is measured through this important index, that is index of industrial production, and it says that this index of industrial production, which is a very important indicator of industrial activity, have shown a positive growth. So we didn't had any negative growth in relation to index of industrial production. And as per the new series, that is with the revised base year of 2011-12, in 2016-17 we had a growth of 5%. So the index of industrial production growth in 16-17 is 5%. It is comparatively lower. But if you look into when you compare with 15-16 industrial growth, index of industrial production, okay, so this is a very important point to be noted down. Okay, the 15 in the revised series of index of industrial production, the index of industrial production have grown compared to the 15-16. So in 15-16 the IIP growth was 3.4%. In 16-17 it is 5%. And the latest, as per the latest survey report, okay, in November 2017 monthly data, it was a record IIP growth, the 25-month high growth of 8.4%. So in IIP have grown at 8.4% in November, with the manufacturing constituting very high, manufacturing at growing at 10.2%. Not that important, but since the survey have highlighted this point, I am just mentioning. So here in this point, what is important for you is that who releases this index, the change in base year, and what is the purpose of changing the base year to represent the current structure of the industrial sector. With the new base year, the growth rate have, so this is one important trend have seen it, okay. With the revision in the base year, what has happened is that there have been increase in the growth rate of IIP, Index of Industrial Production. And what the survey says that the two series, that is 2004-5 series and 11-12 series, have shown a contrasting trend. See, this happens, but in the case of IIP, this contrasting trend is quite high in 16-17 growth rates. So if you look into the 16-17 growth rates measured in with the old base year and with the new base year, it has shown a contrasting trend. What the survey says that in the quarter 1 of 16-17, the new series shows a growth rate of 7.8%, while the old series have shown a growth rate of 0.7%. And when you look into the quarter 3 and quarter 4, the new series says that there have been slowdown in the industrial growth as per the new series. But as per the old series, there is increase in the growth period. So that's the reason why the survey have said that there have been contrasting trend in the growth rate in relation to when you compare it with the two base year. Just have an idea. In 16-17, there have been contrasting trend in relation to industrial index of industrial growth rate when you compare with the old series with the new series base year. And the improved data, what survey says that the improved data is a reflection of the expansion of the item basket. Obviously, when the new series comes, we'll discuss regarding the new series in detail because survey has covered it. It's mainly because of the expansion of the items in the basket and the frame of factories as well as revision of weight. The weightage have been revised in the new series. That is very important for you. We'll look in detail regarding the revision. Okay, now just for your idea, you see that, okay, regarding the index of industrial production, the two things are very important for you, okay. This index of industrial production classify industrial production into two categories. One is sectoral classification and other is use-based classification. Sectoral classification as well as use-based classification. Normally in the newspaper, sectoral classification only we will see. We will see only the sectoral classification. Since economic survey have covered the use-based classification also, you need to give importance to the use-based classification also. So we will discuss in detail regarding the sectoral classification as well as the use-based classification. Now this is the new IIP series weightage, okay. Please note down the manufacturing. So these are the three important sector under IIP. Three important sector under IIP is manufacturing. Now the new weightage is for manufacturing is 77.6, mining 14.4, electricity 8%. So we'll discuss regarding that. Then the use-based classification comes like primary goods, capital goods, intermediate goods, infrastructure or construction goods, consumer durables, and consumer non-durables. So this is item-based classification. Other is sectoral classification. We'll come to it, okay. See the difference in 15-16, the growth rate is, IIP growth rate is 3.3%, and in 16-17, the IIP growth rate is 4.6%. So in 15-16 and 16-17, the growth rate in IIP have been less than 5% as per the, even in the new series also. So please note down. And if you look to the 2017-18 data of April to November, that is also showing a lower growth rate, okay. So in 17-18 also we are having a lower growth in the index of industrial production, that is in the industrial growth. Now the survey, 16-17 survey have come with a separate box, one page full box on this changes in the new series, new IIP series 2011-12. This is very important for you. This data is very important for you, okay. Now as we know that, okay, the basket of goods in this index, the basket of goods have been revised from the base year of 2004-5 to 11-12. So be very clear, don't get confused with the base year, okay. The new base year as well as the old base year is important for you. Old is 2004-5, new is 2011-12. Now what survey says that the IIP consists of 3 sectors. We already discussed, very important, okay. What are the 3 sectors when you go by sectoral classification? That is mining, manufacturing and electricity. Now the new basket consists of 407 item groups, okay. It is not 407 items, it is talking about item groups. There have been 407 item groups and with 259 item groups common with the old basket, okay. So 259 items only is common. So there have been new item groups have been added in the new series, okay. That you keep in mind. Now the weightage comparison, this is very important, okay. The weightage comparison, this is a potential question for you. This is a potential question for you in the sense that you know that in the IIP, the 3 important sectors are mining, manufacturing and electricity. So see, there is a small correction here. This is I have taken from the survey, but if you take it approximately, the mining have increased from 14.2 to this has to be 14.4. Okay, so please note down 14.2 to 14.4. So the mine in the new series, the mining weightage have increased. Now manufacturing have increased from 75.5 to 77.6. Again, the manufacturing weightage have increased by 2%. So there have been a slight increase in mining, a 2% increase in relation to manufacturing. But in relation to electricity, there have been a 2% decrease. So the weightage of electricity have decreased from 10.3 to 8%. So if UPSC ask a question in the revised series, in the new series of IIP, which was released in May 2017, which all sectors weightage have increased or which all sectors have been decreased, such type of question comes, you can easily answer. Mining and manufacturing, there have been increase. In relation to electricity, there have been a decrease. So please be very clear with it. Such type of question only been UPSC asked. So don't neglect these factual information. Make a comparison also. More than fact, be very clear with the what happened, the trend, whether it is increase or decrease. Now what the survey says that in the revised IIP basket, about 109 item groups data have been collected in value terms. Okay, data collection. See, all the index is, the significance lies in data collection. Okay, so data here have been collected value wise as well as quantity wise. So in the new series, what survey says that around out of the 407 item groups, 109 item groups data have been collected in value terms, not in quantity terms. Not that important, but since survey have covered it, I am mentioning it. Okay, so we don't know if it is a cut copy statement, then you don't get confused. It's mentioned in this survey, so you can easily answer it. Okay, so basically this have been done. Why why this new series is collecting value data rather than the quantity? It's mainly because to avoid jumps in data, because many of these products, since many of these 109 item groups have a lifespan of more than 1 month, there have been a chance that there will be data when the data collection is being done, there is a chance that there will be an increase in the data. So in order to avoid that, a new classification have been brought in, what is called as work under progress, and here the value is being considered. And since we are considering the value data, what the survey says that for when you have to calculate the price, so the price is deflated in relation to the wholesale price index. Okay, wholesale price index also have been revised in relation to 2011-12. So see, we know that we don't have any producer price index, and the economic survey in the inflation have covered this the concept of producer price index. Okay, so since we are collecting the prices to calculate the value of the quantity produced, the prices has to be deflated to get the constant value price, since the base year is 2011-12. So in order to deflate the value data, the government is, or the CSO is using wholesale price index data of the year 2011-12. Now in relation to use base, these two important points, I will show it to you, okay. In the use basis, we have discussed sectoral classification, that is mining, manufacturing and electricity. In the use based classification, this is very important, these 2 points is very important, okay. Please note down, in the use based classification, the earlier it was called as basic goods category have been replaced with the name primary goods. So basic goods have been replaced with primary goods, very important information. Second is, a new category have been introduced, which was not there in the old basic, that is the category called infrastructure and construction goods. So there is a new category called infrastructure or construction goods in the use based classification, and the basic goods have been replaced with the name primary goods, okay. So this you can see it in this figure, okay. You see the comparison of this is 2004-5, this is 11-12. See the item groups, okay. There it is mentioned as basic goods. So now it is replaced with primary goods. So the item groups have changed, okay. Earlier the highest weightage under use based classification, don't get confused, this is use based classification. Earlier it is, we discussed this sectoral based classification. So in the use based classification, in the old series, the maximum weightage was for basic goods. Now the basic goods have been replaced with primary goods. Again, but the weightage have come down when it moved from basic goods to prime, from 45.7, it is now 34.1%. But again, primary goods is having the highest weightage. So the weightage is very important, okay. So we know that in sectoral classification, manufacturing is having the highest weightage, that is coming around 77%. And in the use based classification, in the new base classification, primary goods is having the maximum weightage, that is 34%, 34.1%. And you see the infrastructure and construction goods here. In the earlier item based classification, sorry, use based classification, there were nothing like infrastructure or construction goods. So these are the 2 points. In basic goods replaced with primary goods, a new category have been included in the name infrastructure and or construction goods, and it is having a weightage of 12.3. Now if you look into the series, the second weightage is being given to intermediate goods, and the lowest weightage is for capital goods. So UPSC can give you like decreasing order or increasing order of weightage under the use based classification. So if you know that capital goods is having the lowest weightage and primary goods is having the highest weightage, that is sufficient for you to answer the question. But for your more confidence, okay, just have an idea. The second weightage has been given to intermediate goods. This is more than sufficient. And just have an idea what are the other type of category. Consumer goods category is there, consumer non-durable category is there, consumer durables as well as consumer non-durables. So there are 6 category under use based classification. Highest weightage is for primary goods, second weightage is for intermediate goods, the lowest weightage is for capital goods. So it's very important information, okay. So that's regarding index of industrial production, okay. Another important area, already in the last 7 year, that last 7 year question is very important, okay. There are UPSC asked 2 questions from 8 core industries, okay. We will see how UPSC asked question from this 8 core industries, okay. 8 core industries or the index of 8 core industries is very important for you, okay. So you need to know what are that 8 core industries. The 8 core industries are, so there is an index of 8 core industries which measures the performance of 8 core industries. They are namely coal, crude oil, natural gas, petroleum refinery products, that is refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement and electricity. So these 8 industries you need to be very thorough with it. It's a fact, but it's a very important fact, okay. Second is, as in the case of index of industrial production, okay. Since the IIP base year have revised to 2011-12, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion have revised the base year, okay. So here be very clear, okay. Here it is Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion have revised the base year of index of 8 core industries from 2004-5 to 11-12. So 8 core industries base year as well as the IIP base year is now the same. Now very important, very important point. With the revision in the base year, 8 core industries weightage also have increased from the earlier weightage. See, this 8 core industries constitute a big weightage in the IIP. So earlier, the 8 core industries weightage in IIP, total IIP was 37.9%. Now, with the revision of the base year, that weightage have increased to 40.3 weightage in the IIP. 8 core industries weightage. Very, very, very important fact. So, the weightage have increased in the 8 core industries in relation to index of industrial production. And the growth of 8 core industries in 16-17 is 4.8% compared to 3% with the new revised base year. Okay. Now, what in 16-17, what it says that 5 industries there have been positive growth, and in the 3 industries there have been negative growth. The 5 industries which had positive growth are coal, refinery products, fertilizer, steel and electricity, and steel registering a robust higher growth of 10.7%. There have been higher increase in the steel growth rate, that is 10.7%, and this have been mainly due to the certain steps taken by the central government in February 2016, in the sense that the central government have introduced minimum import price for steel products. The government have introduced anti-dumping duty on steel products. So that have resulted in protecting the domestic industry as well as increase in the domestic production. That's why there have been a greater growth in steel industry. The poor performing sector 3 industries in 16-17 which had negative growth rate is crude oil, natural gas and cement. So that just have an idea, okay. Now regarding the weightage of 8 core industries, UPSC have asked a question, again very, very important, okay. So see, this growth rate is not that much important for you, okay, already. What is important for you is the weightage. What is important for you? The weightage. And if you look into the figure, which one is having the highest weightage? Refinery products is having the highest weightage. Refinery product is having 28% out of this 8 industry. Refinery products is having the highest weightage, followed by electricity. So the top 2 weightage is given to refinery products and electricity. And the lowest weightage is for fertilizer. The lowest weightage is for fertilizer and the second lowest is cement. So please have an idea, okay, the top 2 weightage, okay, instead of looking into all the weightage, have an idea, the highest weightage is for refinery products, followed by electricity, that is 19.9, refinery products it is 28%, the lowest weightage is for fertilizer, that is 2.6%, followed by cement, that is 5.4%. Again, in the weight category, they can ask you the correct increasing or decreasing order. If you know the top one and the lowest one, things become very easy for you to answer it, okay. We have UPSC asked this sequential order questions, okay. So, like in the case of index of industrial production, be very thorough with the 8 core industries weightage also. Why is, you can see the previous year question, then you will understand why I have given so much of importance, okay. So, in 2012, there have been question related to 8 core industries. In 2015 also, there have been question in relation to 8 core industries. We will see it, okay. In India, this is 2012 question, that is old base year, the overall index of the industrial production. In India, in the overall index of industrial production, the indices of 8 core industries have a combined weight of 37.9%, okay. So in the old IIP, the weightage of index of this 8 core industries was 37.9%, now it is 40.3%. Which of the following are among those 8 core industries? Cement, we know that cement is there. Fertilizer, it's correct. Natural gas, it is correct. Refinery products, that is also correct. Textiles, textiles is not there. So your answer comes as C, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So be clear, know about the 8 core industries. Don't get confused with it. Now, the second question in 2015. In the index of 8 core industries, which one of the following is given is having the highest weightage? In this category, which one is having the highest weightage? They are given coal, they have given electricity, they have given fertilizer, they have given steel. So you know that the topmost weightage is given for refinery products. Second is for electricity generation. The second weightage is given for electricity generation. So your answer comes as B, electricity generation. Then after that it is steel production. So be thorough with the 8 core industry as well as their weightage. Since UPSC have asked the question, and if you look into the year of 8 core industries. In 2012 UPSC asked a question, in 2015 UPSC asked a question, and there's a possibility that in 2018 also UPSC can ask a question because there have been revision in the base year. I'm just telling that the logic simply, it's not because of this 2012-15, but because of the change in the revision, change in the base year of 8 core industries. So either index of industrial production or 8 core industries expect for this year prelims. Now, another important topic covered in your this ease of doing business. See, this index of 8 core industries and index of industrial production is given highest coverage in the 16-17 survey. In the 17-18 survey, ease of doing business have been given more prominence, and the 17-18 industry chapter starts with this ease of doing business ranking, and there have been a separate box for ease of doing business in the 17-18 economic survey. So there is a high possibility that you can expect a question from ease of doing business. Now, how the survey starts is that the survey says that in the year 2017-18 has been a good year for India because India is able to show a good global image, India's global image as a promising investment destination. So 2017-18 shows to the world that India is a promising investment destination. And if you look into the FDI, in the last few years, there have been higher FDI because the steps, the reforms the government have taken is one of the reasons. And along with the higher FDI, two important decisions, especially by the World Bank, as well as the World Bank report, as well as the international credit rating agencies ranking, have influenced the increasing investment destination or means a higher increase in the investment in India. Now, what this international credit rating agency, Moody Investors Service, have done is, the Moody Investors Services, after 13 years, have upgraded India's credit rating to Baa2 from the earlier grade of Baa3. Baa3 is the lowest investment grade, so it has been upgraded to Baa2. So because of this improved investor sovereign credit rating, India will have a lot of advantage. One of that advantage is that now we can borrow from the international market at a lesser interest rate. Okay, and since it's a credit rating agency upgrade a country's credit rating only when its fundamentals, macroeconomic fundamentals has been improved. So that shows a good confidence for the foreign investors to come and invest in India. And second important decision happened is in relation to the World Bank doing business report, 2018 ease of doing business report, 2018, which shows that India's rank have improved to 100. India's rank is now 100 out of 190 countries in the 2018 ease of doing business report. And there have been a jump of 30 ranks. So the earliest rank, 2017 rank was 130. So from 130, our rank improved to 100 in 2018. So there have been a greater jump in the ease of doing business report 2018. This is another thing which shows that India is now India become a better investment destination. And now since the doing business report, in the doing business report there have been a dramatic improvement in the rank. You need to know who releases this report, what are the indicators on which this report is made. Like that extra information you need to know it, okay. We already know that World Bank releases this report, okay, and that there are 10 indicators. So this report is published based on the 10 indicators. So you need to be very thorough with the 10 indicators. And what the 2018 report says that there are, out of the 10 indicators, India shown an improvement in 6 indicators. So it's a very important point. Out of the 10 indicators which measure the ease of doing business, in the 6 indicators, India's ranking have improved. That's the reason why India's rank jumped from 130 to 100. So what are the 6 sectors which shown an improvement? Okay, we'll discuss it with the figures, so it will become very easy for you. Okay, so see this is covered in your survey. So these are the 10 indicators. These 10 indicators study thoroughly. Okay, they can ask you which of the following indicator on the basis of which indicators World Bank prepares this ease of doing business report. Out of this 10 they can ask, or they can ask India in 2018 in which indicators India have performed well. Such type of question can be asked. So first you be clear with the 10 indicators and which 6 indicators India have shown improvement. Okay, so the rank is made on, so India have made a rank improvement in 6 out of 10 indicators. Now regarding the first indicator, that is starting a business. So starting a business is one indicator, but there is no improvement, rather there is a change of -1. But in relation to construction permit, there have been an improvement in the ranking of +4. That is -1 +4 is not improvement, not important. What is important is that whether there is improvement or not. So construction, starting a business, no improvement. Construction permit, there is an improvement. Getting electricity, no improvement. Registering property, no improvement. Getting credit, a big improvement, +15. Protecting minority investors, improvement. Paying taxes because of this introduction of GST, I've done it, okay. A greater improvement have happened. The biggest improvement have happened in paying taxes. A 53 rank improvement is there in relation to paying taxes. Trading across borders, no improvement. Enforcing contracts, improvement is there. Resolving insolvency, because of the insolvency and bankruptcy code, second biggest improvement have happened in resolving insolvency. So these are the 6 indicators improvement happened: construction permit, getting credit, protecting minority investors, paying taxes, enforcing contracts, as well as resolving insolvency. In 4 indicators, the performance have been poor or negative. That is starting a business, getting electricity, registering property, and trading across borders. So please revise these 10 indicators thoroughly, and which 6 indicators there have been improvement. So the reason for improvement in the ease of doing business report, what survey says, it's the government have taken many structural and deep-seated reforms, mainly GST, introduction of GST and insolvency and bankruptcy code, and there have been many reforms aimed at strengthening India's institutions in the form of demonetization, introducing inflation targeting in our monetary policy, progress in the Aadhaar enrollment, and because of that there have been greater target delivery of benefits, and as well as this recapitalization of public sector banks in order to improve the getting credit. And so these are the reasons for higher performance in the index. And what the survey says that there have been 2 immediate impact because of this improved ranking. One was the Sensex within few days have risen to 700 points, and India's rupee have appreciated in visible terms. So these are the 2 visible impact after this report was released by World Bank. That is, there have been rupee have appreciated, Sensex have suddenly increased. And regarding the rating upgrade, what the survey says that the rating upgrade is expected to reduce the cost of borrowing for the Indian government as well as for the private sector. Now, what survey says that, okay, even though there have been an improvement in the ease of doing business report, several reforms and simplification already completed, but not acknowledged by the ease of doing business team of World Bank. So this is what the government says, that in certain sectors or certain indicators where we have made the improvement, but it has not acknowledged by the ease of doing business team of the World Bank. So what the survey says that, see, municipal corporation in Mumbai and Delhi, okay, these 2 cities are very, very important for you for ease of doing business ranking. Okay, try to understand that this ease of doing, the World Bank will not go to all part of India to collect the data. The India's data is collected only from 2 important cities, that is from Mumbai and Delhi. This can also be a question, okay. So from which cities data is collected by the World Bank to release ease of doing business report? That is Mumbai and Delhi. No other city is being taken, okay. So if you look into the construction permit, which is one of the 10 indicators, the municipal corporation of both Mumbai and Delhi have reduced the number of procedure to get construction permit to 8. There have been reduction in the getting construction permit procedures, as well as the time frame for approval have been during the construction cycle of a building also have been brought down to 60 days. So the construction cycle approval, time frame for approval have been brought down to 60 days, number of procedures have been brought down to 8, but that have not been acknowledged by the team which have taken the data, ease of doing business team. Now regarding the resolving insolvency, you know that there have been reorganization of the procedure in relation to corporate debtors through a new insolvency ecosystem. That is, we have now NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, Insolvency Professional Agency, as well as Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. So the new procedure which has been carried out by these agencies have not been taken into consideration by the ease of doing business team. Maybe in the next year they may take into consideration. Now regarding another indicator, that is trading across border, the government have taken several steps. So trading across border, there have been no improvement, but if these things might have been considered, might have been improvement. Okay, these are the steps taken to simplify trade by the government. That is, we have now online message exchange system for import clearances of agricultural commodities. For import clearance of agricultural commodities, we have an online message exchange system. We have limited the number of documents for import and export to 3. Now 3 documents is required for import and export. There has been an establishment of import data processing and management system for the processing for payment of imports, as well as to effectively monitor the import. That is another steps taken to ease trading across border. The last one is reduction in the gate-in time period for export containers. So for the export containers, the gate-in time period have been reduced from 5 days to 4 days. So these measures which have been taken to simplify trade by the government have not been taken into consideration by the ease of doing business team. So this is what survey says that. Now regarding another thing, regarding enforcing contracts, okay, the 2 cities, that is Bombay and Delhi High Court, have now established a commercial division bench as well as a commercial appellate division bench in their respective high courts, but that have not been considered. So if that have been considered, this enforcing contract ranking might have improved. Now regarding getting credit, the SARFAESI Act have been amended, and now we give priority to secured creditors. Be very clear who is secured creditor, okay? So if under the SARFAESI Act, the secured creditor dues will be paid first. It will be given preference over any other debts, as well as any revenues, taxes, cesses and other rates payable to the central, state or local government. So secured creditors have been given higher priority when a company goes for insolvency or liquidation under amended SARFAESI Act. So that also not been taken into consideration. And regarding paying taxes, okay, now the government have introduced a new project. Okay, UPSC can ask, what is this rapid project is all about? The rapid project is about improving tax removes or tax compliance. Okay, rapid means R for revenue, A for accountability, P for probity, I for information, and D for digitalization. So it is mainly introduced for administering tax reforms to make tax compliances more tax friendly, transparent, with the aim of widening tax base. So these are the 6 area where the government have made many reforms but not been acknowledged by the ease of doing business team. But even without acknowledging these reforms, India's ranking have improved from 130 to 100. All these things have been covered in the 2017-18 economic survey, especially about ease of doing business. So it's very important for you. You can expect a question from it. Okay. So that's regarding the industry of part 1. In the part 2, we'll release it by evening. Thank you.